Well, hello, shell buddies, and welcome back to the channel. Alright, so a break in the previously scheduled action here. We have a new beach report for you. We've had a number of days of storms and windiness and fronts moving in, rain fronts, cold fronts, winds out of the north, winds out of the east, and the shelling is right now just amazing. Today, John and I have been out all day, left the house at 6:30 this morning. We went to A Grille down by the jetty, around to the dog beach. We stopped and had breakfast at the Paradise Grill. We shelled above that area at A Grille, found some more nifty stuff. And then we took off and we went to Sunset Beach. And there was another pile of shells there. So, this beach report is to tell you that when we have weather conditions like this, where we're getting big winds, we're getting offshore winds blowing out over onto the ocean, or things coming out of the north, that shells will be not only moved around, but they're going to be brought in. You should get out there and check the rest of this week before the next cold snap comes in, then directly after we get the rain and cold snap to follow this weekend. And we are now moving into what we call winter shelling. So these storm systems that come in out of the north and then we get wind out of the east, this ends up bringing in shells all up and down the Gulf Coast of Florida, and right here around the Tampa, St. Pete, Sarasota area, things are no different. So we spent a good bit of time out there, hit 3 beaches today, and also wanted to give you a quick update that A Grille, the parking area at the bottom where they were doing the dune repair, that has been unblocked and is now open, as well as the parking areas at Sunset Beach. All of that lot that had been closed off because of the dune repair, that's cleared all out. They've swept it. It's open. So the beaches are looking a lot better than they did just a couple of months ago after Idalia wreaked havoc up and down this area. Oh my gosh. So unbelievable to see. Now, in a slightly not as good news thing, the new dune that they just built at Sunset Beach is getting carved. And these bigger high tide swings that we get as we get closer to full moon time and things like that, or when we get these storms, are washing the surf up a little farther than expected. Unfortunately, a little bit of the grasses that have been replanted have been lost. So it is super critical that you only cross the dunes in the designated areas, because they are still having erosional difficulties over there with some of that stuff, which sort of bummed me out a little bit to see that, they just got done planting this, right around the eclipse or so time that we were out there. And it's now the middle of December. So the grasses really haven't had a chance to, take root and grow. They've only been in a couple of months. They're not miracle working magicians. They're just little tufts of dune grass. So be super careful when you go out to Sunset. Only cross on to the beach where you're allowed to, because the dunes are super fragile right now, and they may continue to be so for a little while. Now, we do have some crazy weather coming up as well. We're expecting some rain, possibly up to 3 inches of rain between now and, let's say, Sunday. Today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday in the afternoon. So if you're going to go shelling, you want to just keep an eye on the weather report and see which direction the wind's coming from, what the tide is doing, and if there's going to be a storm going, because it can make what would otherwise be a fun time a little miserable to get stinging rain in your face the whole time that you're out there. And it looks like we're due to get some, which is typical for this area in Florida when you have an El Nino winter, which is what we're going to be experiencing this year. So just keep that in mind. Big storms, winds out of different directions, that's going to bring in shells. And if this happens in conjunction with when we're having a full moon and the tide swings are bigger, it's even more of a bonanza. Just to give you a little idea of some of the things that we found starfish on the beach, urchins on the beach. We saw a live brittle star. We saw a heart urchin. We saw sand dollars, live tulips and murexes and fighting conchs all over the place, and a ton of stuff that you could collect too. So today was really good. If I was to give you any recommendation, I would say go to the southern end of A Grille over by the dog beach, work your way around the rocks. There's tons of stuff in and around those rocks. Loads of live critters, loads of empty shells. There was hinged beach bowls out there. I mean, those big giant Atlantic heart cockles. It wasn't mass beaching level, which another big storm I'm sure later this winter will probably bring that in. But it was really, really good for good sized shells, for tiny shells, all sorts of neat stuff. So go on out there, hit up Paso Grow or Sunset Beach or any of your favorite beaches around this area for the next few days. Shelling should be fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll have another video up soon, hopefully, when I get a minute to finish editing. And we'll be doing some crafting and some shell ID. And then maybe, if I get back out this week, another beach report. Take care. Have a great week.